Look at him standing out there waiting for me. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Just got done feeding Bo and Franny. Now I'm going to feed these hungry hippos. And today I'm going to try something a little bit different that I haven't really done on my videos yet. And that is, I'm going to take you along for a ranch chore that came up the other day that I have to work on. So I had this feeling, I don't know why, that my hot wire either wasn't working or it was running a little low. So I did check it, and it turns out that the voltage is way down on it. So I'll explain it more in detail, but I'm going to take you guys along. I'm going to pull the quad out and ride around the line and check it. I'm gonna see if I can find where it's faulty. There are a few things I know I need to fix, and so I'm gonna do that. I'll take you guys along on that. So before we get started, and I take you guys out on the quad with me to run the fence line and check it, I wanted to go over a couple of basics just so you have an understanding of kind of what we're looking for and what's going on. This here is the fence charger energizer. This is what sends energy onto the hot wire. As you can see here, there is a green, and then it doesn't look red, but it's supposed to be red. The red line coming out of here is what attaches to the hot wire and sends the energy out. The green is for the ground. What it will do is, if a lot of times out here in Montana, we get a lot of lightning storms. If you have anything that hits that fence, ideally what should happen is the ground wire will absorb that energy coming in and not zap out your energizer. A good setup for the ground is very important also to relay the energy into the wire. I don't believe my problem is my ground, even though it is not set up like it should be. I only have one ground rod in. And it's not cold enough. The cold will also impede the energy going through, but we're definitely not cold enough right now this time of year. In fact, we would typically have snow on the ground, and the ground would be frozen cold hard, that I wouldn't really need to worry about the hot wire because there would be no way for the dogs to dig out. But the ground is exceptionally soft this winter, so I do need to make sure that it is working. This right here is the device that I use to check the charge in the wire. As you can see right here, it has some meter lights on it, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8,000 volts. This tip right here is what you touch the wire with, and that will send the signal into the device. This here acts as a ground rod, so you want to put this in the ground and then you want to touch this end onto the wire. I did test with this, and when I first connected it, it was getting a charge of 8,000 volts. Now it's only getting up to 2,000 volts. This energizer is actually much stronger than it needs to be for this ranch, or at least for what I have wired right now. I'm on 15 acres. This energizer is for up to 6 miles or converting to about 30 acres. I have only charged about maybe 5 or 6 acres. So you can imagine if this was designed to put energy out for up to 6 miles or 30 acres, and I'm only using it on 6 acres, it's more energy than needs to be running through the amount of line that's going through 6 acres. So that is why when I did run this hot wire in the pasture that they are in, I did extend it out past an area that they're not in right now. Hopefully next spring it will be getting fenced and I'll be able to let them go out that way. But as of right now, they're not. However, I did run extra wire out there because I wanted to get some of that energy away from only being in here and out into the other area. There are 2 problems that I know of in the area that I do have fenced that they're in that I'm going to check. I don't think that is causing the shortage, but I'm just gonna narrow it all down, and then I'm gonna take you guys out on the quad and we're gonna check the line and just see if we can find anything. I do know when I ran it out that way, there were some really impractical ways that I hooked up the hot wire. I taught myself how to hot wire when I was at my old ranch about an hour north from here, and I knew nothing about it, and I just dove in and I learned, and it's pretty easy, and actually I kind of find it fun, but it can be very tedious. It could be one little thing that just causes that to short out and zap the energy. So one of the problems I know that I have with my hot wire is this insulator right here. These are the nails that come with it. And I'm very cheap. I don't spend money when I don't have to, and sometimes I should. It's highly suggested if you are putting in insulators like this on wood post, spend the money and get some screws. The benefit is it won't split your wood. You put the nail in here, it splits the wood. And then what happens is the nail gets loose and they eventually start twisting and then fall out. I wish I would have done that. I didn't. And quite honestly, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the screw because, as you can see, mine isn't as long as this nail. So it's probably not going to fit. But I'm going to see if I can get it to work. I might have one in there that's long, but I might have to use a different drill bit head on it. Let's see. I don't think this is going to fit. I don't know if this is the wise idea, but let's see. Yeah, no, it's not long enough. Well, let's see if we can find another one. Okay, so I lucked out. I found one screw that was big enough to hopefully work in this. I'm hoping diameters look the same. I'm hoping this will fit through the insulator hole here. Let's see. Oh, please, please, please. I think it's gonna work. I'm just gonna, hopefully this won't crack it. I don't think it will. I'm just gonna slowly screw it in here. Use my Betty Crocker drill here. That's what I nicknamed it because honestly, it's only good for about mixing cake mix. Okay. So, don't want to lose this. I know, turkey dude. I'm not worried about that. All right, so just to kind of keep the line consistent, I went up and I counted the squares the first time I did this. So 1, 2, 3.5. There's the old, or the one I tried to drill in there. Let's see if this works. Okay, so I got it in there. It's pretty solid. I think it'll hold. I do need to twist it so I can get the line in there. All right. I've got a pretty good tension on this line, so I don't know if you can see in the video there, but you have a top and a bottom where it fits in there. So if you're replacing an insulator and your line's already up and you have a pretty good tension on it, you're going to need to be able to twist those to get it to go in. So anyway, now that that's a little more solid, that guarantees that there aren't any lines, any of the line isn't sagging, because that will cause impedance. If you get it to sag, if it hits some of the fence wire here, it will short out. So again, I don't think that was causing the issue, but at least it's fixed now. So the one other thing I think might be causing this is this. This is a gate handle. When you have hot wire that runs across and then you have a gate, there's a couple different things you can do. You can go from the end of the hot wire and run an insulated hot wire line. Again, it's coated. You can run it under the ground. So what you would do is run it from one side of the gate to the other. You can do that, but if you're like me and you need to have that hot wire in front of the gate so that your dog doesn't try to go and dig under the gate, you can use these, which is just a hot wire connected to the handle. And again, I'm going to show you how these are done. You're going to loop a new line from one end of the gate to the other, like a really long handle. And you're going to use the gripples to bring that new line around. You'll see that there's an insulator here. It has two sides. One side is looped to the existing hot wire line. Then it has a little wheel here in the middle, and then another loop on the other side. So that is a specially fabricated insulator that allows that energy to connect from the line coming in to the line that you're going to run for the gate up to this handle. Now, if you see on this handle here, it looks a little kind of pulled. When I originally put it in, well, hello, turkey dude. When I originally put it in, this part here was double looped. And it may just be that the wire that goes across is a little too short, so it's starting to just pull over time. But I think what may have happened is somewhere in between here, which is also really loose, and here, the springs may have disconnected. So what I'm going to do, I don't have another one of these, but I do have a gate that is a pretend hot wire that I really don't need it to be functioning on. So I'm going to swap that one out with this one and see if that might help. Hi, bunny. Okay, so I swapped out the handles, and now you can see this is more of what it should look like, not all stretched out. Again, I'm not sure if either one of these were the problem. Most likely it's not. So all I'm going to do is, you can see I have the gripple loop here that I created, and that's just the end of the wire that went in one way and then back out the other. And then I'm going to thread this around. So now I've got it nice and secure, and there's two sides there that loop around. I'm going to hook this up and then we'll go test it and see what it says. Okay, so I'm back over at where the charger is, or the Energizer. So we're going to take our testing tool, and again, I'm going to put this into the ground as sort of acting like a ground, and then I'm going to take this tip and I'm going to touch it to the wire and see what I get. Okay, I wish I could show you guys the light, but during daylight it's so hard to see. So I'll just let you know, it's still flickering right here at the 2000. So we got to hop on the quad and see if we can find what's going on. Life of a farm cat. Would you find there yourself a little treat, a little Christmas goodie? Well, nothing's ever just click and go. Needed air in the tires. Although it does have hot wire along the top of it, I ended up not connecting this part, mostly because there was some sort of weird thing happening with it and I couldn't figure it out. So I opted to head it down to that corner where you will see in a second. That's where the line kind of ends. So here we go. Okay, again, there are some very bad connections that I set up here. Not bad in the sense they don't work. It's actually a pretty solid, straightforward connection. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drive you guys out. This is the point where it starts. So we're going to go out along this fence line. We're just going to check it, see if anything's sagging, touching a wire, broken, or anything like that. Mom used to call me Hawkeyes when I was little because I would just find everything. Yeah, this is what's going on. So as you can see, like I had just got done saying, if you get hot wire that hits on metal, more metal, that just tells you how powerful that energizer is. This normally would just short it out, but this looks to have, I don't know how that happened, but it crosses over here, tangled up in this, hits this, wraps up in this, and then is tangled up in that. My guess is that's what's going on right here. This is enough to definitely draw down power from the energizer. Wow. Where are those horses? I can't imagine that a horse would do this much to a wire. This line here looks good. Now I'm gonna take you guys out around. So at the point where I stopped, I have an irrigation ditch that runs kind of through the back corner of the property here. So you got to go around the irrigation ditch, and I don't know if I want to go. I think this may have been it. and the horses can't get over there. Well, they are over there, but not very often. So I'm gonna try this. I think this may have been it. Make sure everything looks good, and kind of feeling confident that was the cause back there. So let's go for a ride. Okay, so we're back, and moment of truth. I'm going to go ahead and put the ground rod in and connect this to the wire. Huh. Now I'm not getting any signal. Sometimes this is really hard to see in the daylight, so it's possible there is a signal going through, but it's not looking like it. Huh. Wow. That's odd. Okay, so that section of wire that I talked about on the other side of my irrigation ditch that I didn't think I needed to check. Turns out I just did one little quick lap back there, walked over, and there was one wire that was twisted over the barbed wire like the other one was, but it was just one loop. So I'm not sure if that was enough to do it, but let's check and see. All right, it's not looking like it. So either my tester's not working, which is a possibility, or the Energizer just might have given out. Because I really don't see anything out there that would be causing it to impede on the flow of the voltage going out. Darn. It is odd though that after I took that wire off, there's no signal. This morning I had 2000. Oddly enough, like I said, the light on the charger, the green blinking light isn't coming on. So it could possibly be that that Energizer is going out. It could also be that it is being used with an extension cord and it shouldn't be. Well, I certainly learned a few things today. Number one is I will not be replacing the same fence line where my neighbors who have horses on both sides are. One of the problems that I mentioned earlier about that fence line that I decided not to hot wire because it had some weird wire issues. Funny enough, a lot of that hot wire had been wrapped around the barbed wire, and I thought, why would they do this? You know, was the Energizer too strong? He was trying to get rid of some of the energy. Now I realize, because I've never had horses, I don't plan on it, especially now. But now I realize horses are little troublemakers, and they're gonna go and twist that hot wire around. So if I ever replace the fence lines back there, I'm probably going to come off of the property line where they will not be able to access it so that they don't screw up my hot wire. The other thing is that I should probably take the time to set my stuff up right when I do it. I also have a feeling there's a potential issue that the using the Energizer with an extension cord may have shorted it out. but something's going on with it because the green light isn't coming on. So it may just need to be replaced. Those things happen. I mean, they're not, you know, built to last like an Energizer battery, but that could be the case, and actually may not be such a bad thing. Maybe I could get the right voltage that I need instead of amending around one that is way too strong. We will be back finishing this issue. So if you guys like today's little vlog video, like, subscribe, share for more, and we'll be back. I have to have this, so there is going to be a continuation of this until it is fixed because I need my hot wire. Take care, everybody.